Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Heartwell dev stream, the live stream series where I continue to develop this adorable Souls-like action RPG with platforming mechanics and a branching narrative. And if you find these dev streams interesting or helpful, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and boot that bell button to stay notified. Also, hello Brekor, thanks for dropping by, how's it going? Yeah, let's work on some pathfinding. Indeed, Brekor, indeed. So speaking of pathfinding, when we last left off, of course we got this pathfinding working here, so you'll notice we have a little enemy box following us, and if we round a corner, it's able to at least go around one corner and continue to follow us. And this does work with multiple enemies, I just don't have that shown here because we did that last stream. Where we left off last stream, also I'm noticing the music's a bit loud, give me 1 second chat, let me fix this. Alright. You're doing good. You're doing some basic repetitive work for your game performance and animations. Okay, fair enough, Redport. Well, some work's more tedious for game development, but it's all part of a bigger whole, so to speak. So anyway, when we last left off, we were trying to make it so that this thing could pathfind through, we'll say a more convoluted path like this with multiple corners. So you'll notice it's able to follow us when it's staying close, but if we go around here, it kind of gets confused. And then tries to go to various nodes. So, what I've been doing since the last stream was trying to think of, okay, what's a logical way to make the enemy pathfind where it's supposed to go? Especially in something like this where there's a lot of corners. Because before I was trying to do different calculations with well, if it's in this corner, it should go there, and where the player is. But I think I've written out the logic for this in a way that might work. And that's what I'll show right here. So, basically, if I were to describe what I'm trying to do when I thought about how this pathfinding should work, just at least for things like that, is to treat it like knots in a long piece of string. So no matter which way the string kind of twists and turns, if you have, say, a couple of knots along that string, we'll say knots A, B, and C, then logically you're proceeding from towards the knots where the player is closest to. So if the player's on knot C, and the enemy's on knot A, then logically it should go from knot A to knot B, then knot B to knot C, until it's found until it either regains line of sight on the player, or the player leaves the area that the enemy can move. Hey, Copper Nicholson, welcome. How's it going? So to that end, this is kind of the logic I came up with for this. The idea is that we actually need to give the enemy some new alterable values, these being called the enemy node section and the player node section. Not sure whether to make the player node section just something that's on the player itself, or if it's something I should do for each individual enemy. But the idea is that depending on if you recall last stream we were defining rectangular zones. Basically, whenever the player's in a certain rectangular zone, it'll get assigned a certain number, and the same goes with the enemy node. So if they're in, Zone 1, they'll get Node 1, Zone 2 is Node 2, and so on and so forth. And by giving an alterable value for that, we can actually set lines of code to where it sets where the enemy is supposed to go, but only if its alterable value is a certain number. And that could give us that effect of, if on Node A, go to Node B, and so on and so forth. So this is kind of the logic behind it, and I'll try to explain it as I go through the programming stuff, since I've already written it out a bit. Oh, okay, Dr. Nicholson, okay. I think you also mentioned some other job stuff you were working on, Copper Nicholson and Duckcore. How's that going, you two? Let's see. So there's that line, which is just kind of exists. I think what we should do for 1 point per enemy. Just trying to refresh myself where I put all the programming here. Alright, Raptor, ready to send out any applications? Okay, Copper Nicholson. So, have you added up material yet? That's the node find control. Alright, so I think for the sake of simplicity, it might be better for us to just create a new set of logic here somewhere. So we can activate that. That should just, yeah, it'll just default up there. Okay. Point nodes, zone locations. We'll call this L-shaped path. And we'll call this one S-shaped path. Okay, fair enough, Copper Nicholson. Glad you're making some progress there. How about you, Gregor? Alright. Start off, we need some helpful values to work with. We'll call this one Alright, Trevor. Well, how about when you finish programming tonight, you send out some applications? That bet you start, and then tomorrow, and then between now and NetStream, make sure you send out a bunch every day. Just remember, dude, applying for a job is your full-time job right now. Alright. So we got our lines of code. Note, there'll be different subzones. Each subzone is defined sequentially with a node number. Okay. Alright, so we need to define our subzones here. Alright, so 687, 1996. Alright, Drakor. I guess I can understand the feeling of not wanting to get scolded, and here's what I want to tell you. Get over it. You know why? Because no matter where you go in life, there's going to be people who aren't so nice. Tough. You can... Whether someone's nice to you or not, you gotta do what's right for you, dude. So, if someone's going to be pompous like that, who cares? They're not worthy of your respect. Doesn't mean you should stop doing what you're doing. Well, for starters, Gretbor, remember that you as an employee have the right to seek work elsewhere. So if you apply, there's no way to know if you're going to have like a bad boss or not until you get there. And if you do, there's a couple things you do. Either one, you can work very hard and overcome that if things are good, or report disreputable things to HR. If that doesn't work, or if things seem to be getting worse or not very particularly stable, then what you do is you keep doing what you're doing in that job, but you apply for other jobs in the meantime until you find a better gig. And you just keep going until you find one that works for you. On the other hand, you might apply for a job and it turns out, hey, things are great here. Then you can stick around for a while, make a career out of it. But either way, whether you end up in a job with a bad work environment or a great work environment, you still have a job, and that's what fucking matters. Please excuse my language. Well, Drekor, you have to realize I love the job that I do. But if I was afraid of applying to jobs just because I was afraid of the stinking prospect of getting... of having to work for someone who I couldn't respect, I wouldn't be anywhere. And that's the other thing, Drekor. If a job is doing that to you, like you feel really pulling yourself down, then what you do is you just simply apply for another job and keep working that one in the meantime to give yourself a stinking income, dude. Can that happen? Sure. Should you be afraid of it? No. Because guess what? Once you're in a job, it's not like you're locked into said job forever. You can still apply to other jobs while working at a job. And what I'll tell you is, it's a heck of a... Like, however stressful your work environment might be, it's certainly less stressful than having no income whatsoever. You also have to recognize that you are in... your field is computer science. And a lot of jobs like that tend to be a bit more into... a lot of jobs have you working on teams, but with computer science, there are some things you might be able to just simply do by yourself and try to hunt them down and get to it. Like a friend of mine is in computer science, and it's a lot like that. That's 7, 98, 20, 40, 24, I'm also realizing that I probably just changed the screen there. Rekor. Getting stuck in a dead end. Okay, so first of all, concept of a dead end job means you have no other options. You have to realize, Rekor, you have a PhD in computer science. Unless computers magically are no longer relevant, that's not going to happen to you. You have a highly sought after skill set. Use it. And that's the thing, because you have such a highly sought after skill set, it means you're valuable to a lot of open career places. And that if you get in a job that you're not particularly fond of with that degree, you just look for another one. Well, guess what, Rekor? Stop being scared, dude. I want to support you, I really do. But I'm getting tired of you coming here with the exact same excuse every stinking time. Get off your butt and get to work. Now listen, dude, you're a really nice guy. And if it sounds like I'm being harsh, okay. But I feel like, you know, at the end of the day, you're the one who decides how quickly or slowly you get out of your current position. And you can do it, dude. You have the will and a drive to get a PhD. That takes a lot of hard work and dedication. If you have the will and the drive to do that, you definitely have the will and the drive to send out a bunch of job applications. Where do I want to put this node? Actually, it's not be defined by this one, so... Alright, record. Okay. Go on. I'm a little puzzled. Then 42, 21, 28. Alright, well, thing is, Rekor, even... You say it's been a long time since you've been developing software, but... You're developing a game. That's software development. In fact, if you're talking to an employer, you can even spin it that way. You can say, quite frankly, hey, I enjoy programming so much I do it in my free time to develop games, and then talk about some of the logical things you do to, like, plan for that and work on that. And say, like, hey, this is me applying what I've learned from my degree. For real. it still shows that you are a knowledgeable programming genius. Exactly. You got a valuable skill set in this economy. I know when I was in engineering school, I remember that once I was getting towards the end, it had been a while since I had done some of my earlier courses. I'm like, oh, am I going to forget some things? Yeah, exactly, Bradford. It definitely sounds like that you're, keep trying to make excuses for yourself. So how about instead of trying to make excuses for you not to send out applications, why not throw those excuses aside and just send out applications? Because at the end of the day, functionally, no matter what excuse you use, if you use any excuse to stop you from sending out applications, you're just right back where you were months ago. And you already know how that goes. Nothing happens. So no matter what the excuse... So by that logic, aren't all those excuses pointless and counterproductive? It doesn't mean that you might not have worries, but those worries shouldn't stop you. You'd be surprised, Rekor. There's a lot of... For people in professional positions, as long as you have the means to learn what you need to learn, and the expertise to do so, quite a number of companies would be willing to give you the time necessary to get yourself adjusted to your new position, using the systems that they want you to use. Fair enough. I'll ignore your previous message. We want a node there, we want a node here, node there, and node there. So the way I'm seeing this, we just need 4 nodes here. So while I've defined some rectangular spaces in some weird spots, the general idea is to have 4 corner nodes here, since as long as the thing can reach those 4 corner nodes there, 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 and there, should be able to see what else is going on in this area. That Y coordinate? $20.95. That will be 687. That's 2176, I want to say. Alright, no problem, Rekor. Alright, so that's our subzone coordinates. That's 2020. Alrighty. I think that's the first node. Number 2. think 778. Play the wide coordinate matters more here, so 2113. Mm-hmm. Alrighty. I think... yeah, that should be the nodes. Now this definitely could be optimized for... oh, hey, Dropper Nicholson, welcome back. So, right now I'm just entering in nodes. Now, Right now, I'm noticing there's repeats here, so this definitely could be optimized to be like 2 lines or even 1 line potentially with some calculations, but I'm doing just line by line right now to try and get the logic worked out before I try to focus on optimizing. Now, the idea is that when the enemy collision box is chasing the player and has line of sight, then its node section is being defined by where it's located. However, when line of sight is off, then things worked a bit differently. Copper Nicholson, I'd suggest you write that down somewhere, if that's something you need to remember. Maybe set a reminder on your phone or something like that. But what these lines do, lines 1 through 4 above, now for the next set lines. Because right now this is set to always move towards node X or node Y if it doesn't have line of sight. So I was thinking more like a reminder on your phone, Copper Nicholson, for like you just set a timer for around that time when you'd be heading in that direction. But whatever, you do you, dude. Alright, no problem, Dr. Nicholson. I've just deep in thought trying to figure out how to make this logic work. Alright, what am I doing? I have to prepare it like this. What I should do is... Actually, that will work, I think. No, Topper Nicholson, not at all. Alright, let's actually write out some logic here. I think I need to take a step back and do and try to figure out the logic here. So we know that if the player node is greater than the enemy node, then it's enemy node plus 1. If the enemy node is less than think I know what to do. This equation is basically just a, we'll say x minus y over the absolute value of x minus y. That would give us the plus or minus 1. Copper Nicholson. And that's kind of beside the point, though. I think a major theme of Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance is that the cost of war is too great. Is far, far too great. And that it changes people, and the military-industrial complex can really be harmful to people. So that game was very much a critique of the military-industrial complex, Copper Nicholson. And Armstrong and Sundowner are basically just meant to be characters embodying the military-industrial complex. That's the thing. There's no winners in war, only losers. Anyway, now where were we? Ah, right. We need to set the section node. The logic of the section node is we'll need multiple parentheses for this. I don't remember if there's a way to do an absolute value thing here. I'll try to look that up real quick, chat. Be right back. Alright, chat, so it is what I was looking for. Using abs right there is the absolute value function. Hey, Grekor, welcome back. How's it going? Yeah. Alright, glad to hear you're doing good. So, I asked my question to you, Grekor, is what I said made sense earlier? Was that a bit harsh, or was that what you needed? Alright, where's the syntax error? There it is. Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope Statement's feeling better, Grekor. No, so no. I prefer to think that I was brutal. I prefer to think that I was honest and trying to help Grekor face Fats brutally. And that's a term for basically saying, like, good or bad, you gotta face Fats brutally so that you can address them and move forward. Does that sound about right, Grekor? Anyway, so the way this equation works is it should always return either a positive or negative 1, unless the values are the same, which we will prevent by having a condition that it must be different from the player node value. I see, Reptor, I see. Why would you want to be Million, though, Copper Nicholson? All she does is run around town all day and try to smash things with her hand with Lammy. So alright, so that should ensure it's never the same. This will ensure that this doesn't reserve a division by 0, which would be very bad. Okay. Okay. There we go. That's not. No, you don't have to get that. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, actually, I literally just realized something, chat. With the way this equation is set up to be super generic, literally, if we just get rid of this line, then the enemy should always kind of be moving towards a particular node. Speaking of which, we do need to have an OR function here. Hey, Spy Kid, thanks for dropping by, dude. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Fair enough, Prepor, fair enough. Imagine a scary movie where the ghost is Million. That sounds terrifying. I could just imagine Million just whispering in someone's ear, and he's gonna die, I can't wait to watch, or something like that. Because that's just something Million would say. For those who don't know, that's just a meme from the Trails of Cold Steel challenge on server. This is the best uses. That'd be kind of amusing. Just like the most tsundere sort of ghost, just like, oh, look at you go. You don't even know how to hold a teacup correct. Did your mother ever teach you how to set a table or something like that? No, not Alfred. That'd be awful. No. Anything but Alfred. All right. Not Alphen. Anything Alphen. The thing is, chat, if Alphen actually gets like a good like redemption arc or something in Trails of Cold Steel 2, I would be shocked. Like, I would be very, very shocked. Because she set the bar very low, shall we say, in Trails of Cold Steel 1. Like, super low. Even lower than Milliam. Like, Milliam, for all of her shenanigans, at least she can get stuff done. With Alphen, though, it's like she takes craziness to a completely different level. I hope she's put in a situation where she can't rely on her family so well to solve a serious problem, and she has to grow up and learn to be less of a... Alright, so the thing is, Director, the first part of that already happened in Trails of Cold Steel 1, if you remember when she and Elise got kidnapped. However, you're correct that I agree. I think it would actually be kind of cool if she was put in a really tough situation, but instead of relying on someone else to save her or something, she had to like basically stand up for herself and like either save herself or save others or something like that. Just start to mature a bit and be like, you know, maybe there is more to life than going to dances with random nobles and things like that. She and Billy have become a couple. Oh no. Exactly. She needs a problem that she needs to solve for herself. Exactly. I agree. Actually, I'm just thinking, like, can you imagine if Princess Alphen somehow became a student at Thor's military academy? That would be terrifying. It's like she transfers in, and everyone's like, and Reese's like, nope, that's it. I'm out. I'm leaving. I know I just came back from wherever I came back from, but nope, I'm not dealing with this. She never made the cut. Bretgor, Crow made the cut. If Crow can make the cut, I think she can make the cut. And to be fair, Sarah is... she hadn't been to noble parties yet. Oh, really? Actually, that's a good point. They brought up in Cold Steel 1 that she was about to make her debut into high society, but she hadn't actually made her debut yet. I wonder if that would change her. Because if you remember, Machias changed pretty significantly when he learned about the dark side of the nobles from what happened to his was it his sister or his cousin? I'm kind of forgetting that it was someone really, really important to him. I almost wonder if Alphen, having been around Elise for so much, she's actually a really nice person, if she saw the dark underbelly of the nobles, if that would kind of make her change things. Oh, that's fair. That's why I was trolling her. His cousin was like his sister. Very true. Very true. No, no. Actually, Princess Alphen as the main antagonist. That would be... Oof, that'd be terrifying. I just imagine Princess Alphen kidnaps Reen, and then Toa has to rally the troops, so to speak, to rescue Reen from Heimdall. No, that's awful. If there's ever a Trails of Cold Steel bridge, though, that'd be hilarious. Like, can you imagine? Yeah, she's the main antagonist because she ships the ships that should not be shipped. Sadly, but I feel like I'm getting off topic here. Okay, logic. I do not know if this will work. I do not know if it will cause significant lag. But what I do know is that if the logic is sound, there will be happiness. Yeah, for sure, Gretgor, for sure. I remember that too. I was just like, when Alphen said that, that immediately kind of set her off on the wrong foot for me. And the thing is, that was one of the first things she did, so that's like, yeah, that's a really bad introduction, Alphen. When your first introduction is literally tee-hee, I'm going to ship a brother and sister together, it's just like, okay. Exactly. Yes, but Tip also no, just absolutely not. No. Like, you are correct, Copper Nicholson, that Toa and Tank have the same exact same number of letters. You know what other two words have the same number of letters? Toa and love. Oh, also, Toa and Reen happen to have the same number of letters, so there you go. Exactly, Report. Like, when she said that, it's just like, I was really off put by that, shall we say. And it doesn't matter that they're not blood related. That still seems so weird to me. Not to mention, like, and then the fact that on top of that, she literally did like this elaborate like invitation for, you know, Reen's, you know, classmates just to try and ask him to a dance. Like, she put on a big dinner and a tea show and had her brother kind of try to woo them, all for the purpose of trying to ask Reen on a date. And I was like, that again, when they literally just met. Yeah, just Alvin just existed. Yeah. All right, I guess that's a fair point, Sweatkip. Like, if it was like, if Reen and Elise were not in the same family, okay, who cares? But because they're in the same family, doesn't matter that they aren't related by blood. That just seems so weird to me. Like, it's, I don't know. It doesn't sit right with me, shall we say. Alright, sounds good, Report. Alright, that goes there. The thing I'm realizing about this is defined the enemy node section, which is fantastic, but we haven't quite defined the player node section yet. Oh, should write a comment here as well. Alright. I see, Spike I see, okay. Alright, that made sense. But the thing is, with Reen and Elise really feel like real brothers and sisters to me. It doesn't matter that they're not blood related. And because of that, that's like, I just could never imagine them being a thing, if that makes sense. Because it's clear that Reen very much treats Elise like a little sister, and Elise looks up to Reen like a big brother. Not really, it's just some melancholy music. Oh yeah, here's that music. I think they just funny about Cold Steel is that it feels like the developers didn't want any of the girls from Class 7 to have a stronger connection to the other boys than Rain in case the player wants to romance them, so there are very few one-on-one scenes between genders. You know, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. But you're right. You're absolutely right, Spudkip. Well, that doesn't make the LGBT narratives even stronger. Well, hey. Spudkip, you gotta admit, though, there's some pretty strong, good LGBT parents in Trails of Cold Steel. Like, I feel like Fia and Laura and Eustace and Matthias would be great. Like, will they make that canon? Probably not. Should they make it canon? Absolutely, 1000%. I would be totally behind that. Like, I mean, what'd be really interesting is if in like future Trails games, because I know they're making like what the Calvert games now. Could you imagine if like you could set up light shifts between your other party members, and it didn't matter what genders they were? Like, I think that would be so good. Yeah, Elliot and Gaius are pretty good too. Though I thought Elliot like had a, was it Mint or was it like one of his friends from home that he might have been interested in? Gaius could literally be with anyone. Gaius is just. Yeah, Fia and Laura they're amazing Grefcore, but they will never beat the OTP for me being Rin and Toa. Though Fia and Laura are up there, I think they'd be great. Like, that's... Like, literally, like, Fia and Laura are some of my favorite characters in the games, but besides the obvious reason of shipping Toa with Rin, it's like, I wouldn't want to ship Rin with either of them because I think both of them are better together, personally. That's just me. I doubt that I'm the only one who feels that way, but I just feel like, you know... Especially after their strong connection they built over the course of Cold Steel 1. I mean, even in the opening, they're shown, like, you know, near each other. Like, Laura's standing there, and then we see Fee sleeping on a bench nearby her. It's very adorable. Also, let's not forget Emma and Alyssa. That's another good one. Wait, so you're telling me that Trails in the Sky actually does have shipping between party members? So okay, so clearly they have the means to do it, but maybe they kind of said, you know, maybe we want to leave the shipping a bit more open for some of the other possibilities. I mean, I guess, but Honestly, what they should do, Sputnik, if they still want to like leave it somewhat ambiguous as to which direction the the ships could go in, there's a couple of ways to do it. One is the fact that people can people when they're initially dating, they might go date with different people until they settle on their boyfriend slash girlfriend. So wait. No, I'm not mad, Retor. Again, feel free to ship anyone you want to. I'm just going to say that I'm always going to ship Emily and Leia harder than Emily and Citron, and that's never going to change. But anyway, as I was saying, what they could do is they could show, like, in the background, maybe have different characters, like, either just showing some minor interest in each other, so that way, like, if the player doesn't decide to go for someone, then they could do that. Or, if they really want to leave it ambiguous till the very end, just have it be that, have everything between characters that could potentially be shipped together be platonic until, like, the dance sequence we saw in Trails of Cold Steel 1, and then once the player makes their choice, that's like, okay, player made their choice, then the other ship pairings, however they fall, they, have at it, basically. Like, do you understand, like, when Rhea and Toa were dancing together, like, if I saw, like, Fee and Laura dancing together in the background, or, like, Eustace and Machias, I would have, I completely lost it from happiness. That would have been amazing. But anyway, that's beside the point. You're saying the Sky Trilogy has two of the Straws romances? Interesting. Interesting. I'll have to keep that in mind. Yeah, you think about it, Eustace and Machias is like the classic. I mean, it's not the Prince and the Pauper, it's more like the commoner and the noble kind of thing. But it's like, you can see it. Like, I think you could see it. They get on each other's nerves, but I think it's in a way that's like they know they get on each other's nerves because they secretly definitely care about each other to some extent. I'm not sure if Neon Falcon had intended it to be in a love sense, but we can dream, right? Wait, you're saying they have zero romance options? What? What do you mean they don't have romance options? Do you mean like they're just canon romances, or is it like just no, romance plays zero part in it? I mean, as I enjoy the shipping, the shipping's fun. Fair enough, enemies to lovers is too powerful. Alright, so, okay, I think I finally set the logic here. Now what we need is just some way to set the player's node. So it'll be pretty similar to this. Well, we'll just say set player such a node to thingy. You state the player doesn't choose, but you also haven't played yet. Okay, fair enough. I know the Caliber games at least have a sequel in the works. I'll be curious to see how it compares to the Cold Steel games, because it's like there hasn't really been a Trails game that has like broken the series out of its situation where I think it's somewhat popular in Japan, but it's really not popular in the West. Like, I would love if there was a game, like if the Trail series had a sort of a Persona 5 moment where there's like this one game that really like suddenly puts the series on the map in the West, and like, you know what, this is really cool. I want to see what the other series or what the other games are like. Like, I would love for that to happen. I just don't think they've quite found that thing yet. Because they have a lot to offer. It's just wait, you're saying, oh, so was originally supposed to be the main character of Trails of Cold Steel? I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I understand that you're saying, like, she was originally supposed to have a personality similar to Rain, which would make her more likable, but would we want Alyssa as a main character? As the main character? And this is coming as someone who loves female protagonists in games. I mean, I think I could agree to some extent that Cold Steel has made Trails more popular, but I don't think Trails is quite at the same level of popularity as like the Persona series. Is that fair to say, Spudkip? Or at least here in the West, it's not at the same level of popularity. I feel like with Cold Steel, to make people be aware that the Trail series exists, but I haven't like seen people flocking to like, I don't know, Trails of Cold Steel 3 or 4, saying, this is the game that got me into Trails, and now I'm going to play all the rest. En masse, anyway. I'm sure there's people like that who have been like, I played Trails of Cold Steel something and something, and now I'm really invested in the series. Fair enough, Spudkip. Well, I think it did for some people. I'm just saying, like, it hasn't done it to the same way that, like, Persona 4 or Persona 5 was for the Persona series. I mean, one thing that it could be is it could simply be that not enough, like, I guess, big YouTubers or influencers have played it. Fair enough. Okay. Well, I don't mean like have a Persona 5 like just a strong standalone game. I'm thinking more so like a game that happens to just do so insanely well that it generates enough interest to get people interested in the other games. So you could still have the interconnected storylines and stuff, but like that's why I feel like it'd be even cooler. Think about it. Imagine if people play Persona 5, but Persona 5 had the same level of world building and interconnectedness with all the other Persona games as the Trail series does with all of its games. I think that, wouldn't that make people interested to be like, hey, who are these characters? Like, these Crossbell guys? Maybe I should find out more about them. I should play the games they're in. Or hey, this Estelle Bright person, she seems pretty cool. She has her own, like, entire series? What? I should go play that. Like, you see what I'm saying? I don't know, it's wishful thinking on my part. And where were we? Oh, right. Defining player location. That's the thing, like, I feel like if more, like, big, like, RPG YouTubers or influencers played the Trail series and made, like, series about it, it would become a lot more popular very quickly. But that hasn't, I don't think that's really happened yet. Like, there are some YouTubers who are interested in Trails of Cold Steel, or just the Trail series in general, but I feel like they're kind of, I guess there's just not as large of an audience with them as there are for some other YouTubers. I don't follow Spudkip. Those seem pretty comparable in length. Am I missing something here? For context, Spudkip, Trails of Cold Steel 1 took me over 130 hours to finish. Though, to be fair, I was playing in a very unconventional way. I guess that's fair. Everyone has a different taste, Copper Nicholson, but you have to remember that there are... True, Copper Nicholson, but there are a ton of different varieties of turn-based combat games out there. Like, I think of, like, even Final Fantasy. I think Final Fantasy has even less thought put into it than the Trails combat does. Because if you think about it, there isn't any, like, positioning doesn't matter at all. You're just kind of there. Whereas in the Trails series, positioning does matter. That's true, Spudjet, that's true. I guess that's a good point. But it's like, you know, the Marvel movies can still stand on their own, but their interconnectedness is like a cool selling point. I wish it could be the same for like the Trail series, where it's like the games are so the games really draw people in individually, and they're like, you know what, it's interconnected. Let's see how it all connects. That's also true, Spudjet. Movies, you know, you only take a few hours to get into, whereas the Trails games is like very, very big investment. You know, be a cool way to probably get more people into the Trail series. I feel like if you could sell it as people who want to be better writers or better at world building, and say, hey, these games have some of the strongest world building you'll see in any genre, not just video games. Maybe that would get more people interested. Fair enough, fuck it. I honestly think the Trails games are comparable to books in the sense that they might take us. Well, actually, I guess you'd have to be a pretty slow reader and with a pretty large novel for it to take that long. But it's still in the sense that there is a lot of involved. So maybe like portray it as a visual novel series that happens to have good RPG mechanics. Because I mean, like the Danganronpa games can easily take like 40 hours, and people still play that, and it's all words and mini games. Oh, how much longer do I think Elden Ring will take? Great question, Spudkip. I was actually bringing this up earlier, is that I'm very much having like inner debates about how I would want to handle the next challenge run series or set of series. Because it's like, on the one hand, well, actually, to answer your first question, how much longer would the Elden Ring challenge run take? I have no idea. The reason I say that is we still have the entire intermediate areas to explore, and I have no idea how long the endgame areas are. So it could easily be another 10 or 14 streams of Elden Ring bow only, depending on how complex what's left there is. Or it could be like 5 or 6 and it's a lot less than I'm thinking. I have no idea. And we steamroll through things. I have no idea. But one thing I am trying to figure out, Spudkip, is what to do when the bowling challenge run is eventually completed. And the debate is between doing another Elden Ring challenge run of some kind, doing Trails of Cold Steel 2, or trying to do some kind of hybrid between the two. What are your thoughts on that, Spudkip? Yeah, the reason I say a hybrid, and the reason why I'm considering, Antomicx, you've never done a second challenge run in the same game. Why would you do that for Elden Ring? Well, Elden Ring has been by far the most popular game I've challenge run by far on my YouTube channel. And it's like, if people genuinely want to see more of that, then that's something I have to consider. I wouldn't say that, Copper Nicholson. Yeah, true. You're a bit biased. Fair enough. Perspective. Fair enough. And the thing is, I do want it to Cold Steel 2 at some point. That's the thing. But at the same time, I also recognize that there just isn't as much of an audience for the Trail series as there is for Elden Ring. And I feel that's unfortunate, but that's just reality. The other thing I try to figure out is if I did do a hybrid schedule, how would that work? Because I currently do 4 streams a week. Well, sorry, 4 streams every 2 weeks, on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And one of those streams is always, a Heartwell dev stream. So I'm trying to figure out how I make that work. Like, would I move Heartwell dev streams to Friday and then just have, Tuesday be an Elden Ring day, Thursday be a Trails day? I'm trying to figure out how that will work. Alright, that's fair, Spudkip. Do what you think the most fun doing. That's perfectly fair. But the thing is, I enjoy both. Like, I enjoy the action RPG elements of Elden Ring. I also enjoy the Trails series. Like, I enjoy RPGs in general, even if there are very huge varieties of RPGs, shall we say. And enjoying challenge run. So it's not like I'm not gonna lose sleep over being like, ugh, I don't really want to do another Elden Ring challenge run, or I don't really want to play Trails of Cold Steel 2. Now, it's like I'm fine with playing either. I really enjoy them. It's just I'm trying to think of what is best for the community, what's best for the channel. That's fair, Gregor. Still doesn't answer my question. I mean, it's not an easy question to answer, but... Oh, that's interesting. Like, your amount of humanity is your lives in Dark Souls? Interesting. That would be very hard. I mean, to be fair, people have done no-death runs of Dark Souls before, but that's kind of like treating it like a true old-school game where, like, that's your lives. Interesting. Well, it definitely forced you to get good, as they say. Or grind for lots of humanity. Basically, that would basically become a game of how quickly can I get to the DLC so I can just buy as much humanity as I want. That's true, and you know, getting cursed would be awful, because it's like, GG. Well, no, that's not what I'm saying, Drakor. I'm talking about that area just before Manus where there were those enemies that literally drop humanity. You know, the little Dark Souls, quite literally. You could literally just grind that out once you get there, but the challenge would actually be getting there. Since your prerequisite is to get past the Sanctuary Guardian and Artorias. Yeah, it's true. To get a decent window to Estus and against Artorias, you really have to either block or dodge an attack. Great question, Spotkiff. So, what I want to do YouTube professionally someday? Probably not. I have a day job that I love, and that's, you know, can support my hobbies. Case in point. So I don't really foresee myself ever making YouTube or streaming a career. I'm not anywhere near large enough for that to even be a consideration. But even if I did get that large, I couldn't see that being a thing. I'd consider it more like a side thing I do in my spare time, but there are reasons why I do, I'd say there's a couple of driving reasons for why I stream and do YouTube stuff. First is to share my passion for challenge runs and video games I really like. So, yeah, it's at the point I was streaming, case in point. But I really enjoy challenge runs. I really enjoy pushing games to their limits and video game design and stuff. And and what I do on YouTube lets me talk to people who are also interested in that and reach out to people. Same with streaming. So there's that aspect to it. Another reason I stream and do YouTube and stuff is to grow an audience for Heartwell. And that might seem counterintuitive, but my thought is like think of it like the more people who know that I do stuff like this, the more likely more people are to eventually play my game. So there is that aspect to it, that part of the reason I do this is to help build an audience for the game I'm developing. And finally, I like to be able to support other people. Like, I really enjoy that, and you guys probably see that when I take my time to if someone's having a problem and I feel like I could give some 2 cents that might help them, I go out my way to do that, because I think it's important to look out for other people. So those are kind of the three main reasons I do YouTube and streaming. It's a way to reach people with common interests, it's a way to build an audience for my game, and it's a way to help other people that I might not otherwise meet in person. That makes sense, Budkip? Yeah, no problem, Drekor. Happy to help. And I met like a bunch of awesome people from my experiences on YouTube and Twitch. Yeah, but that's the thing, it's like, if I wasn't developing a game, it'd be so much easier for me to focus on YouTube, make a bunch of cool videos and stuff like that, but that's, again, my primary, like, if I could only work on one creative thing, it would be Heartwell, and that's just, I mean, the amount of passion that's gone into this, I think, should be heir apparent. So it's kind of I have a bit of a balancing act to play right here. Now, after Heartwell's eventually fully released, I mean very much eventually, then I could probably put a decent amount more focus onto YouTube and stuff. But at that point in my life, the other thing that might come up is, of course, raising a family. And that would definitely, you know, take away my attention quite a bit. If not completely, depending on how busy I am. Is that 1996, or am I being dumb? That's 2047. Okay. Anyway. There. This was set to 2. Okay. Alrighty. Alright, almost there. And done. Sorry I went radio silent there for a bit, chat, but this is all just a lot of inputs to see if it'll work. Oh boy. It's the moment of truth, chat, as they say. Will there be lag? Hey, not noticing. Okay. Well, it's following us. Around the corner. Oh. Look at that, chat! Look at that! How cool is that? Look at it! Look at it! It's glorious. Look at it. Hey! That's pretty cool, isn't it? I just want to make sure that we aren't causing undue lag with this process, because that is something I always worry about. Does it feel like we're getting frame drops, chat, or am I just... I don't think we are. I am noticing some weird stuff happening over here, though. I wonder if that's an optimization thing, or if it's like just the way the projectiles are lining up. It does look a bit silly once like it runs back a bit, but it's serviceable is the thing. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't see any star in the game myself. It's probably just, which is good. I am so glad it can do that. Like, we can go around corners and it will try to catch up with us. That's so cool. And I can do weird stuff like that. That's silly. To be fair, this is kind of, in the demo, we really just need it to be functional for an S shape like this, because there are situations where the enemy is... if you guys remember the winding path on the... Oh, what's it called? The winding path in the kitchen looks a lot like this, except turn sideways to the right. So something like this is actually very powerful, because as you can see... dear. What happened to this one over here? Strange. It shouldn't be for eaching to that. Oh, wait, I wonder. No, something's overriding it. No, that would just be the enemy node section. How does that affect things? Somewhere I'm defining the node and it's not syncing. Duh. Here. I think what we should do... Several ways you can handle this.
Either include on either check here to make sure that we're not lining that up. Or I mean, what we could do wait, no, would that do? No, that wouldn't do it. Does it say in the notes alley to what? I'm trying to figure out what line of code is causing it to consider this. It's where's the L-shaped path definition? I think I made the logic correct. Alright, I think what we can do then, I think we have plenty of flags to work with. Yeah, we do. So we'll say we should have a flag that's like actually wait, no, we don't want a flag, because that doesn't solve the problem. The problem is that for some reason this is getting defined as well, actually, no, it would solve the problem because it would define it differently depending on where the player is, so we could have a has one node. This, I don't know which line of code is doing it. Okay, well, so that's that up there. Is it not scoping? It might not be stoping. I wonder though, is it this? Strange. Right. Weird things are happening. Very weird things are happening. I think it's just trying to get down there. Yeah. It's clearly trying to get to there. We had set that node on, so it shouldn't be happening. Well, that is a bug. Yep, I had dinner for today, Copper Nicholson. Does that mean it's this? Oh, hey, Tendor, thank you so much for dropping by. How's it going? Welcome, welcome. Welcome, Raiders. Welcome to the dev stream. Tonight, we have worked on pathfinding logic, which, as you can see, we have a little S-finding pathfinding logic here. So we're all the way down here, and it's smart enough to actually find our location. Anyway, how have you guys been? We still be jumping? Nice, nice. Yep, we still be jumping. Right now, it's all about that pathfinding, as they say. So, how was tonight's stream, Draktor? How was tonight's stream, Tendor? Where are you guys up to in Elden Ring? Oh, you're playing Jump Game. Cool. I don't think I've played that. What's that about? And one weird thing we are getting here is that I think these are not dissociating. So, no, they are dissociating. It's just something about this isn't quite lining up, and it's causing this one to want to go to the other one. I wonder. Oh, it's an NAS still on challenge where it's game over, but where's... Oh my! Okay, that sounds fun. Hope you enjoy it then, Tendor. I think what's happening is this is overriding it somehow. Like, if I inactivate the S-shaped path, it should just kind of default, yeah. Alright. There's probably a way we could redefine this, so it's just, And you made it to ice physics level, you're like, okay, no, okay, fair enough. Guys. Let's try that. Okay. That does not seem to have worked. What? Still overriding it. Strange. Did I disable something? I just don't remember it. Let's do a little test. Okay, so they're both going. No. Okay, so this guy's line of sight, he's following us. Okay. Weird. The joys of game development. Does the define for other zones still work? So, boop. I think it was this one? The other one? Alright, no problem, Tendar. Thank you so much for the raid. Really do appreciate it. And hope you have a good rest of your night then, dude. Something isn't quite right here. Would that be overriding it? It might. Okay, so the other one... Okay, we don't see any weird things happening with the other one. Yeah, okay, so the other one was definitely overriding it. Which means that... So the other one overrides that, but something overrides this one. Alright, chat, looks like we have a scavenger hunt then. Why is it called a scavenger hunt? Because it means we're going to inactivate lines until we find the line of code that is causing the problem. So, what we're going to do is we'll go line by line, inch by inch. And remembering that you need to be here. So at default, it should default to 0, 0. Let's make sure we have some idea. Okay, that line definitely is causing problems. Because it's overriding it somehow. So very first line, we got a hit. Let's look at the logic here and see where it might be coming from. I don't think it would be the first section. There's a way that we can test that. What we do is inactivate that, and then just delete all this. And if that first section causes the problem, then what would happen is that defines that. Okay, so we know it's not the first section of code that causes the problem. Let's try the second section of code. Actually, the second section of code wouldn't even work with the first section, without the first section of code. So if I delete this, it should probably still cause the problem. Yeah. Now, what I don't know, would this problem persist if these were like two separate lines of code? Probably. But we should at least try to roll it out. Huh. Strange. You know what it probably is then, chat? The for each object strikes again! Why do I say the for each object strikes again? Because the logic isn't wrong here. But I feel like there's some disconnect when we're trying to do multiple things with the for each object in the same line. So I think what this functionally means is we need more lines of code.
that make sense? Wait, no. No, I did that control out. Okay. That's what can be annoying about the for each object is it's not very good when you have to use it more than once in the same line, which can make optimization tricky. Alright, so I think okay, let's test it out. Well, me remembering that there are other lines of code that need to be on for this to work. All right. So he's following us. We're chasing around. We're doing the rigmarole. We do shenanigans. All right, I think it's working. Yeah, looks like it's working, chat. I think. Yeah, that was it. It's just a for each problem. Oh, the for each objects. They can be tedious, Trevor, but it feels good when they're done. Like, look how cool this is. It's smart, chat. It's somewhat smart, anyway. But it's smart enough to navigate this when we're going crazy. Well, Drekor, you have to realize I too had to make cutscenes off stream, and it took a very long time. I still have more to make for the demo. And the thing is, Drekor, unlike with the cutscenes I'm making, they have multiple choice.
So, it's like doing a bunch of cutscenes in one, knowing that the player is only going to see a fraction of them based off their choices. So, if I can tolerate that, I think you can tolerate doing it for a linear cutscene, you know? Anyway, I think we've got, I think that was just the issue, chat, just for each, but it's working now. And that took a while, but chat, this is huge progress, because, I mean, there's clearly room for optimization in this code. Like, we're using a ton of lines of code here. I feel like with some calculations, we could probably get away with using fewer lines. But, like, the logic is here, and that's what matters. Like, the raw logic is here. Like, this idea is infinite, well, is expandable to as many of these nodes we could possibly want in a particular path. So, it may feel like this was a bit of a slower stream, chat, but you gotta understand, we have not been able to have scopable objects like this before. Like, this was not a thing. Yet these two are the same objects, yet can pathfind independently of one another. That is so insanely important. And not to mention, you can have more complex pathfinding with multiple nodes. Could we make it smoother by putting more nodes in the same path? Yes. Would I want to do that here? Not necessarily, because with this particular situation, shall we say, we have a... oh, what's it called? It's just going to cause we need more lines of code to accomplish the same thing. Whereas this is functional. So yeah, I think functionally this was a good strem, a good dev strem. And we'll start to wrap things up. I think it'll be important to, I think before we wrap things up, I should start to just document what I did here so I don't lose sight of the logic here. Lines 1 through 12 above. I see how we're gonna do. Well, maybe get some rest and, you know, take care of yourself, dude. It's important.
describes that. The increment code seems to work pretty well, though. Anyway, all in all, think it was a productive night. So if you were watching this on Twitch, feel free to stick around for a raid. But if you're watching this on YouTube and you like what you saw... Oh, what's that drop for? We have one thing in common with our behavior. Just write a bunch of, I guess, comments. Just, you know, documentation is important. Well, anyway, I guess we can discuss that later. Anyway, if you're watching this on Twitch, feel free to stick around for raid. But if you're watching this on YouTube and you like what you saw, please consider subscribing on YouTube. It's free to subscribe on YouTube. You can always change your mind later, and it's a great way to show support. If you're watching on YouTube, I hope you have an awesome night.